I forget his name. A general. He was considered the black sheep of his family. They sent him away, and then eventually, during a time of sorrow and supplication, he was sent back to defeat the armies and free the small hats once again. Um, but what happened was, because he had been a part of all of this culture, just like, oh, we'll just take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, we'll cherry pick a little bit, a little bit of that. He had a skewed perception of what it was he was supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
So he thought, like, well, if you give me a victory, whatever comes out of that house, I will sacrifice to you. Well, it turns out what came out of the house was his daughter.
Oh shit.
Which is one of the hard, it's
Thank
one of the
you.
hardest ones to read. And he let her go away for like a few months. Like she said, well, you made a vow.
Uh-huh.
So I get it. Like, I just need to go and weep with my friends for a few months because now I'm going to die without ever having known the touch of a man.
Oh God.
And then she came back, good as her word, and he lit her up.
Exactly. Now, here's another thing in modern freaking day history. Pardon me, Blake, for interrupting you. I apologize.
I'm done. I'm done. You're good.
The Almighty told the Israelites when they came into the land of Canaan, they had to drive out all of the Canaanites. Just drive them out, not kill them. Just drive them out. Get out of here. Get out of here. They didn't do it. They chose to live and intermarry with them. In 1967 AD, there was a 6-day war. All right. And Israel got attacked on what? 7 fronts? Don't quote me on this, but Israel got attacked on all sides in 1967.
It was 3 or 4
Israel
fronts.
Israel kicked the shit out of every Arab nation that attacked them. All right. When they captured, it was the first time in fucking almost 2,000 years that the Israelis or Judah had control or captured Jerusalem. When they captured Jerusalem, there was a chaplain in the IDF brought up a case of dynamite, and he brought it up to the Temple Mount, and he said, let's blow it up. We're going to blow up the Dome of the Rock. We're going to blow it up. Let's take back the Temple Mount. And a general in the IDF said, stand down. He said, no. We just won the war. We have to take back the Temple Mount. Let's blow up the Dome of the Rock. And the general said, you stand down now. He's talking to a chaplain in the IDF. The general said, you stand down now, or I'll have you arrested and imprisoned. And the chaplain stood down. He had a case of dynamite ready to blow up the Dome of the Rock back in 1967. Do you know what that general's name was that told that chaplain in the IDF to stand down? Do you know what his name was?
Sadat.
Uzi. General Uzi.
Ooh, Uzi. Okay.
Yeah, that the machine gun was named after.
Yeah. That's a damn good piece of equipment.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it was him that told.
That's what she said.
Here's the thing. If you go back to Exodus, when the Almighty told them to occupy that land, he said, drive out everyone. Don't kill them. Drive them out from this land. If you do not drive them out, they will be a thorn in your side forever. So they had a chance to do it 3,500 years ago. They didn't do it. They had a chance to do it again in 1967. They didn't do it. And what has the PLO been since 1967 up to today?
Hamas.
A thorn in their side. Just keeps fucking picking at them and picking at them and picking at them. And by the way, PLO, fucking Yasser Arafat, who's long since dead, rightly so, a freaking billionaire, all of the care packages, and Saddam Hussein did the same fucking thing. All the care packages that were sent, the UNICEF packages that were supposed to feed all of the fucking poor and everything. When we captured Iraq, when we captured fucking Baghdad, what was it, 2003? What did they find? Fucking Saddam Hussein's fucking palace fucking stacked from floor to ceiling with UNICEF care packages that were rotting. The same fucking thing happened under Yasser Arafat with the fucking PLO.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And listen, the whole Iraq thing, I was there in 2004. It was a huge clusterfuck. And it wasn't just one palace. That guy had dozens of palaces. His sons had palaces.
And how
There
many
were-
cars did they have?
I don't. They're all blown up, but there were whole compounds dedicated to his officers. And one of the main reasons Iraq crumbled is because the military, the soldiers, are looked down upon. The standard soldiers, they're literally considered dirt.
Hmm.
And they took these soldiers, put them out there to stay on the line against America. They got shelled, bombed, and they just said, "Why am I here if everyone thinks I'm a piece of shit?" And they literally surrendered in mass. Now,
Yeah.
as for blowing up the Temple Mount, listen, I don't hate the Arabs and I don't hate the Israelis. In fact, I really don't hate anyone, barring maybe half a dozen exceptions. But I am sick and tired of funding or watching people fight over land in Israel.
Yeah.
This has been going on for thousands upon thousands of years, and I'm sick of it.
Well, and after a certain point, and you hear this story about the war in 1968. It kind of sounds to me 67. Sorry, it sounds to me like, well, it sounds more profitable to keep the victim complex going, doesn't it? Just like it's more lucrative to treat cancer
But
than it is to cure cancer.
But here's the thing:
and if you can cause it with vaccines, even
we're
better.
about to engage in World War III. And part of the catalyst to kick that off, listen, once they start launching nukes, half the population is gone in 2 years or less.
Yeah.
And one of the catalysts is fighting in the Middle East over this sliver of fucking land that I'm sick and fucking tired of.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sick of it.
And that's why when somebody, I watch some creators online, not too many because I don't have a whole lot of time, but considering how much money we send over there, why don't we just annex Israel?
Or why don't we just like get the hell out
I'm
of
just saying,
like,
like,
all this
without
shit with
our
people?
military training,
Yeah.
they would have Jack and shit, and
Well,
Jack left town.
But here's the thing. All right. Yes, we train their people. I don't have a problem with them sending their people here and we train them. I'm cool with that. What I'm sick and tired of is every year we give them hundreds to billions of dollars.
Exactly.
And we've been doing that for quite some time. At what point do we go, hey, give us a little return on that investment?
Yeah.
Pay us fucking back.
Well, I mean, when you control the centralized bank that you use to ass rape the citizens of another country so that you can line your pockets, and it's just this never-ending circle jerk of of that. I mean, why would you want that to stop?
I got you. And here's another thing. You're talking about Israel back in the day. What about the Nephilim?
I've heard of that.
All right. We're literally talking about giants who are the sons, the bastard sons or illegitimate sons of these angels. All right. That's a pretty big fucking thing. All right. It's literally talking about a alien race. It could be interdimensional, alien from, it doesn't matter. Interbreeding with human beings. And we literally never, it's like, oh, Nephilim, skip over it, next one.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
we
a
don't-
lot of things that have been removed. Look at the Book of Enoch.
Well, hang on. And that's another thing about the Bible. It has been revised and edited. Things have been taken out, so it makes it easier to control the masses.
Well, the
Because
Catholic Church is especially.
Oh, God,
notorious
yeah.
for that.
Oh,
We're going to have a 3-year schedule where we just read the same shit to you over and over
Yeah.
again, and trust us, that's all you need.
You don't need to have any other questions.
Yeah.
my buddy Darren,
Meanwhile, the Pope now is all about transing kids.
It's like the first week of boot camp, your whole fucking religious indoctrination.
like my buddy Darren, who used to have a bed right where you're at, right? He and I used to talk about the books that aren't in the Bible.
Dead Sea Scrolls and all that.
Oh, it's insane. And when you read some of the stuff, you're like, wow, this is a really crazy perspective. That's why they didn't put it in
Yep.
there.
Mhm.
I got it. Now, listen, I believe in God. True. I believe in the universe. Whatever you want to call it whatever you want. But there are things that take place that are beyond explanation. I have seen things that I can't explain myself. In fact, I am still here because I believe I am the product of divine intervention. I was literally on the ground 30 seconds in Panama. I had a Dragon missile pack on my left side. On the outside of that was my car 15. I got struck on the right side, ran over, and by the time they pulled off of me to the road, that weapon was off the side of that Dragon missile pack, and I have no memory of putting that weapon into service, locking, loading, and I don't even know how it got in my hand, but it was there. I can't explain it. Maybe I did it instinctively. I have no idea. But there are things out there that can't be explained. And when people sit there, well, there is no God. I don't
there
believe
is.
that. I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. So we split the atom in 1945 and we nuked a couple people. And yes, we're on our way to trying to understand science. We're only 80 years into this equation. And somehow people are like, well, because of science, there is no God. Go smurf my balls.
No, science is your new God.
Yes, no.
Let's be completely clear.
No.
It's your new religion. Just like Marxism has become a religion for the people who practice it and think it's never been done right. Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think certain experiences or whatever, certain intense experiences in life, there's no way I'm not here without that. And I do, I lost, you both know, I lost my father very young. I believe
did
that guy, that guy's pulling me out of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you feel him. You just feel you feel him.
Well, you and I were talking shop. I thought about using it as an outtake at the end of our last episode. We were talking about evolution, and I've always asked this question of people who are just, well, evolution must prove it. Like, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Like, sharks have been around allegedly for 50 million years, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, so if they've been around since way before, how the hell did we become the dominant species of life on this planet in less than a quarter of a million years?
Yes.
We walk on land. That's why.
I said, so basically what you're doing is like, you expect me to believe a whole bunch of stuff that has never been proven. And so you expect me to accept this entire thing. Like, obviously there's some things that are absolutely true. Adaptation, mutation, 1000%. We've seen those with our own two eyes. We have never seen a fish crawl out of a river and sprout legs and start walking around. So basically what you're telling me is that if you think that evolution proves that God doesn't exist, you want me to accept that on faith.
Yeah. You just choose
I'm
a
just
different
saying.
faith. You just choose a different faith.
It's pretty
You're
much
not allowed
right
to
there.
do that, though.
I gotcha.
You're not allowed to be different, Blake.
Well, and when you look at what means, like, well, if you believe in God and religions, you're just brainwashed. Okay, so what is it they're teaching you in school? They're not teaching you religion in school. They're teaching you all this other stuff, and you're just accepting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's arguments to be made both ways. That's all I'm saying.
I gotcha.
And if you look at a science book, I mean, I haven't been in school for quite a few decades now, but if you look at a science book as far as evolution, there's a picture of a monkey, and then there's a line to a hominid, and then there's a line to Australopithecus. It's like that's proving, and then a line to modern man. Drawing a line on between a few pictures is proving evolution. Here's the thing. Evolution, it's called the theory of evolution. And some people say, well, wait a second, gravity is a theory too. Okay.
Gravity is a law.
Jump off a third floor porch and tell me that gravity is a theory.
Theoretically, you will fall and die. Let's go test this.
Well, let's give it a shot. Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's go, leftoids.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, it's just drawing a line from one picture to another picture in a textbook does not prove a theory. And by the way, Charles Darwin, who wrote The Origin of the Species, he only had 1 degree, and Charles Darwin's only degree was in theology. Think about that.
There you go.
Hmm.
Well, to put it simple and true here by the Plains Warrior, heaven has strict immigration laws. Hell has open borders. It's definitely fascinating. I mean, like, whether or not you believe in this stuff, irrelevant. It's interesting to talk about no matter what. And when you're talking about how, like, these people who believe everything that is labeled the science, okay, but like I said, we've never actually seen these things happen. They're lines in a textbook, but yet we know for a fact that the books in the New Testament were written by eyewitnesses
Mm-hmm.
to real events that we can prove because we have tangible evidence, Shroud of Turin, etc. So if you're going to believe the lines in the textbook, but claim that people who, I mean, it's like, well, I absolutely, okay, what about this particular kingdom over in Rome and whatnot? Well, those historical records actually didn't pop up until hundreds of years later, and you accept those without question. But yet the eyewitness testimony.
It comes down to a superiority complex.
But we're supposed to believe all women.
But hang on. All right, so here's another thing that's going to cook Gerry Conway's noodle.
So last 2 points, we'll read the chats, and then we're going to go to New Tech. It's already 9:20.
Oh, sorry, man. This is going fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Make your last point. Then Jerry's waving his hand like a schoolgirl who has to take a piss.
Okay.
You sit when you pee.
My last
Blake,
point is...
pound it up your ass, Blake. Dude,
okay,
you're busting my balls the whole time.
Hang on. My last point is this, and this is going to blow a lot of people's minds.
As long as you're just blowing their minds. And
we have the Old and the New Testament that are based off of, historic writings. There's books that weren't included. All right. But there are millions of clay tablets from way, way back before Israel that contain a lot of the same stories that are in the Bible.
Yeah.
And a lot of those clay tablets talk about an alien race who came to this planet, monkeyed around with us to create smart workers who could reproduce, and thus we were a servitude, slave kind of race. A lot of people say that's a bunch of horseshit, but it's literally there in the tablets. And scientifically speaking, when you look at a chimpanzee, okay, and you compare it to our DNA,
it's like 99.
We're very close, but somehow we have less chromosomes. And every now and again, you have a child born with Down syndrome that has an additional chromosome.
No, one less.
One less, whatever. Yeah. But here's the thing. That is very, very odd, because I don't believe any other species on the planet has a birth defect where its offspring are born with offset chromosomes. I'm just asking questions. I'm just pointing to facts. I'm not trying to put a torpedo under the waterline of anyone's belief system, but it is fucking weird.
It is weird.
All right, that's my point.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Popp for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.